Hi, it's Paul from globaltradingsoftware.com, and this is live. So this is copper futures on the 10-minute time frame. I'm using the Guardian zones you can see up above and down below here for my support and resistance zones on NinjaTrader. But more importantly, I'm using the range breakout. So the oil range breakout is defined here to here, and it's in yellow. I'm just going to change the background of the chart a little bit, just to make sure to see if you can see it a little better. Okay, so it's in yellow, which means there's indecision. So we look for a straddle strategy there. Usually we would have a buy order on the top and a sell order on the bottom, but in this case we've got lots of support on multiple time frames. So we're not going to take the short. The only option we've got here is this long at 37005. So if it breaks out of the top of that range, you've got enough risk to reward all the way up to these levels here. The entry is above this, just above this recent pivot as well. So I've looked left for that short-term resistance. So everything looks reasonably sensibly good. We've got a good risk reward because the stop would be just below here. So when we measure that using the fib extensions, we would look at around about a 1 to 1.6 into that zone there. Just put that on. Yeah, 1 to 1.6 into the top of that zone. So there's enough fresh air for me to look for that trade. If it breaks out of the bottom though and breaks that low and tests that support, I will cancel the order. So what I'm going to do now is pause the video and just wait and see what happens. So the catalyst of the US stock market open with the indexes pushing higher. That correlation has helped HG, so we're actually in this trade now. So what I need to do is just apply an ATM just to, I just want to put the stop just underneath the low of the range. Okay, so I'm going to put the just the take profit to just inside that resistance zone. So basically going to leave it now. Just going to check on the manager to see what I have on the settings there. Yeah, it's on aggressive. So we are what, $150 in profit now. Make that 200. Make that 275. $300 in profit right now. The danger of making this risk-free too early is that this could give back a little bit. I want to see how this candle closes before. So we're on a 10-minute time frame, so there's about 4 minutes for this candle to close. So I'm not going to be too aggressive placing that, moving that stop to break even just yet. I want to see if that momentum continues. We have on smaller time frame cleared a 5-minute zone as well. If I bring HG over on the 5-minute, you can see here we've just cleared a 5-minute zone as well, so that's pretty good. That's holding that move up at the moment with $375 in profit right now. 2 contracts on, $400 in profit right now. Again, if you're happy with $425 in a few minutes, you just flatten the trade right now. Did push up but then rejected those highs at that point. We're $450 in profit right now. Just want to make sure this candle closes near the highs. 3 minutes left. But this is a prime example of the setup for the straddle, in that we get the range breakout in yellow. And then we look down the BIAS Depth Heatmap at this point where the oil pit was open, we've got red and yellow. So we've got that total mixed bag across time frames as well. We're $575 now in profit. Again, if that's good enough for you, then you take that profit. $650 in profit right now. We're getting close to that resistance zone, 675. $700 profit right now. Getting close to the close of this candle. I'm going to make this risk free. In fact, I'm going to lock in some profit here at that point. I'm going to be really aggressive with this, just in case it does pull back quite severely. I mean, right now you can literally, you know, depending on your targets for the day, this is a $600 trade right now. You could flatten this trade and take the profit, or you could give it a little bit more room by just putting this at risk free. Lots of options, very simple to do with the technology these days. The main thing is the strategy, the software to tell you what to do, and understanding that time of the day, and not broken the low of that opening range, understanding there was total indecision, so it's a neutral bias. We've got that backed up the BIAS Depth Heatmap down below, and you know, more importantly, we decided that we're only going to go long. We're not going to put the short order on as well, purely because we've got loads of support underneath. And then we put the order on and got the catalyst of the US stock market open to actually give it some momentum, keep it going. NQ's doing very well at the moment, having a little bit of a pullback NQ, and you'll see the Nasdaq is pulling down, and this is where we've had this little pullback down now. So you know, we've had the candle change now. So this is you know, at this point, this is when I would suggest moving your stock to risk free, and you know, looking now to consolidate that move, and that's what it's important. We were very close to this resistance zone, to be honest, and that 1-to-1 point at this 31744, I mean, that was $700 profit there. That was a good time to take profit at that point. Very quick trade. You know, we're talking less than 10 minutes that trade. And it was $700, so it was a great move. We can see on another screen now, Nasdaq did get a little bit of momentum to the upside, but it's pulling back down again. The most important things here is, once we get that big move out, is to make it risk free, so you've got nothing at risk. What you're looking for now is that runner, is that ability to break that high of that candle that took us through into the trade and get to that next resistance zone. It really depends on what's happening in the US stock market, those indexes, the S&P, the NQ, more in particular with there, and the correlation between oil as well. That's something I cover in some of the courses that I do, is understanding the time of day, and not being too frustrated that you didn't get taken into the trade, you know, for about 30 minutes after we put the order on, or 20 minutes after we put the order on. It's about being patient and waiting. NQ still pushing higher right now. That's pretty good. Okay, so I'm just going to pause the video and wait for something to happen. Okay, so we're coming up to the 15-minute point after the US stock markets have opened, those indexes, those futures indexes for the Nasdaq, that sort of thing. So we get the most volatility in those indexes in that first 15 minutes, and usually at that point it sets the trend for the day. or if not, sometimes if they get a nosebleed and they've been going up, they'll pull back down. So this is an important juncture really in our trade as well. So it's 9:45 a.m. EST here in Dubai. It's 5:45 p.m. So right now I've gone risk-free, and getting risk-free before that 15-minute point after the US markets have opened is very, very important, no matter what you're trading, because everything is correlated to the US dollar. Okay, so if Nasdaq pulls back right now, that'll affect the US dollar. Copper is linked to the US dollar, so everything, that 15-minute point is very, very crucial, because there's a lot of reaction at that point. So right now, if this comes back out and takes my stop, I make a little bit of profit, but I'm risk-free. I haven't lost anything. I gave it a chance. There was always those opportunities at $500, $600, $700 to take that profit manually. Just click on it and let it go. But for the purposes of this video, I wanted to go through this whole process of identifying that straddle type trade with the range breakout, getting that confirmation now with with a BIAS Depth Heatmap, in that there's lots of different colors there and not specific one. Understanding that with the Guardian zones, we have some major support underneath here on those multiple time frames with these zones here. So we're not interested in the short. Usually with a straddle, we look for a long and a short, and whichever one we take, that's the way that the trade is going to go. But I decided that there was too much support under there, too much trouble. So I went for the long, and now it's coming back towards the break-even stop to take me out. I won't lose any money, but again, getting that 15 minutes into that US session, if you're in that copper trade or oil or anything else, getting that risk-free is very, very important, because things can turn around. We want to make sure that we're up. Okay, so the stock was filled, took a little bit of profit. The main point about this video is that straddle trade with the range breakout, the confirmation of total indecision in that on those higher time frames, with their being safe with a trade, but there were opportunities to take $500, $600, $700 profit on that big move out within a few minutes. To be honest, there were some great opportunities. So this one didn't run. On other days it runs. The main thing is you stick to the same rules, the same strategies. Tomorrow it may just run. You've not got a crystal ball. All you can do is stick to the same rules. It's that simple. Check out the links below for the range breakout, the BIAS Depth Heatmap for the confirmation. Also check out the link for only on Fund Ninja Trader are the Guardian zones. This frames the chart for your support and resistance on multiple time frames. So I'll just take the weekly, the daily, the 60-minute off. I'll take the 30 off, you'll see there's a colour change there. I'll take the 15 off, there's a colour change there as well. Put the 15 back on, we can see there's confluence between that 10-minute, which we're on right now, which is the yellow, and the 15-minute. If I put the 30-minute on, you'll see there's more confluence down here. That's why I didn't take the short, because there was a lot of strong support on multiple time frames at that point, and it wasn't worth the risk. This long trade was worth the risk because I had some fresh air up to the next resistance zone. It just didn't reach my target, and as for the purposes of the video, I didn't take the profit at $700. And to be honest, $700 in 3 minutes, normally if I was trading this for non-educational purposes, I would have taken that profit without a doubt. 3 minutes work, $700 is a fantastic trade. Hopefully this helps. Take those links, look at this strategy. It's really, really sensible strategy, and it's good for those people who can only trade at certain times of the day. We can look at that oil pit open at 9 a.m. Eastern time, which is at the moment 5 p.m. Dubai time. We can trade copper with that, we can trade oil with that. We can look at gold pit opens. We can look at the index opens as well on the main S&P, the NQ. There's opportunities where we can look at specific times of the day and look for those breakout trades. we define the trade, we give it a bias, then we've got 4 different strategies. We've got the with bias strategy, the straddle, the reversal. Really strong types of strategies with this trading indicator.